This prime Kevin Durant build can do it all. This build can get shifty and finesse its way to a bucket just like prime KD. This build is an elite shooter and an assassin from the mid-range, and you can even play great defense as well on this build, getting chased down blocks. You can get those interceptions when the other team makes a bad pass, and you can even get plucks on this build. KD is 6'11" in real life, so we're going 6'11", 210 pounds with a 7-foot wingspan. I know 6'11" isn't the best build height. You can get more attributes at 6'10" and 7 foot, but I'm trying to make this somewhat accurate to Kevin Durant. And personally, I love the 6'11" height because it's the tallest you can go while still getting shifty shooter, and it's the tallest you can go while still getting lightning launch, which is going to catch a lot of people off guard. So let's start out with the physicals on this build. So we're gonna max out the speed and agility, and then we're going to have a 78 strength on this build, and then we're gonna put our vertical up to a 75. Now we all know Kevin Durant is an elite finisher at the rim, so we're gonna have a close shot of an 84. At an 84 close shot, we do get Paint Prodigy on silver, which for some reason does activate a lot of times when you're hitting a driving layup, so this badge can be helpful to have. But we're going to have an 88 driving layup on this build because obviously Kevin Durant is an elite finisher. He's very crafty around the rim, but we're going to use 5 cap breakers here. And the reason we're doing that is to get it up to a 93. So we'll get gold physical finisher, and we'll also get gold layup mixmaster. Gold mixmaster will pop up when you're doing things like Euro steps, and at 6'11", Euro steps are going to be very hard to guard. Now we're also going to get contact dunks on this build. So we're going to have an 86 driving dunk, and then we're going to use 1 cap breaker here, which will make sure that we get contact dunks off of 2, and it'll also make sure that we get posterizer on silver. And then for post control, I'm going to bump this up to a 60, which will make sure that we get post fade phenom on bronze. Now, obviously, I know KD is absolutely incredible with the post game. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get post control on this build because it's very expensive at 6'11", but I will have a version of this build with elite post control at the end of this video. If you want to check out that version of the build, I do have to sacrifice some defense to get there. And honestly, the second version of the build is probably a little more accurate to Kevin Durant, but this build, in my opinion, is a little bit better. Now, we all know Kevin Durant is a great shooter. It's no secret, right? So we're putting our mid-range shot up to an 88. And then we're using our last 5 cap breakers here to get this up to a 93. And what that's going to do is it's going to get us gold deadeye. It's going to get us bronze post fade phenom. We're going to get Hall of Fame set shot specialist. And most importantly, we're going to get shifty shooter on gold, which, like I said before, shifty shooter on gold at 6'11" is pretty much unguardable. Basically, every time I get the ball on this build, I'm looking to go for a midi fade or a hop jumper from the mid-range because it's unguardable. It is so much fun to do. Kevin Durant is an elite shooter, so we're maxing out our 3-point shot at an 85 here. An 83 3-point shot does get us limitless range on bronze, but you get a big boost to your green window when you go up to an 85 3-point shot. Now, for our pass accuracy, we are going to go with a 75, and the reason I went with a 75 is to get break starter on silver. Obviously, a 75 pass accuracy isn't elite by any means, but if you do get a rebound and you have someone wide open down the floor, you'll be able to make those passes. But you will also get silver dimer, and you'll unlock the Ja Morant pass style, which is very good to have. And then for our handles, we're almost maxing this out. We're gonna go to a 74, which is gonna get us all the best dribble animations you can get on a big man. Most importantly, it's going to get you the Giannis crossover, which is absolutely OP. It's one of the best crossovers in the game, and it's only usable on big men, and you do need to have a 74 ball handle to get it, so it's kind of hard to get on most big man builds. But the thing is, this build isn't really meant to play like a big man. We're pretty much playing like a small forward like Kevin Durant. We just had to put our position at power forward to make sure we could be 6'11" like Kevin Durant. But again, 6 6'11" is the tallest height you can go while still getting lightning launch on bronze, which is crazy to have at a height like this. Since I'm going to be playing power forward, obviously I wanted to have some interior defense so I'm not getting absolutely destroyed in the paint. I know this isn't completely accurate to Kevin Durant, which is why I have a more accurate build after this build in the video. So here's what I did. I put the interior defense up to an 82, which makes sure we get post lockdown on silver. Now we're also going to get silver paint patroller as well, because we're going to have an 84 block. You're not going to be an elite rim protector by any means, but as you can see by the clips, we are definitely able to get some crazy blocks on this build. It's very fun to use on defense because of that. But not only that, we are able to get plucks on this build, which is very crazy at 6'11". You're also able to get those interceptions as well, which is going to be very frustrating for the other team you're playing against. So we are putting our steal up to a 67 here, which makes sure we get interceptor on bronze and glove on bronze, which might not sound like a lot, but as you saw by the clips, you can still pluck people and you can still get interceptions. You're just not going to be able to do it super consistently. And then we're going to finish out the defense here by putting our perimeter defense up to a 71, which makes sure we unlock challenger on bronze. And then we're going to finish out the build by putting our defensive rebound up to an 80, which it only got up to a 79, which I forgot. 3-point shot, I did mean to put a cap breaker there. So 3-point shot is actually at an 84. And then we put the last point on our defensive rebound, which gets it up to an 80 to make sure we get silver rebound chaser. And then we just put the last few points on our free throw. And the takeover I'm personally using on this build is slice, because it gives me a boost to my driving dunk, speed, and agility, which means when I have my takeover at 6'11", I'll have a 93 driving dunk, an 86 speed, and an 80 agility, which is kind of crazy. Now, another good takeover you could use is the Make It Rain takeover. It'll give you a boost to your mid-range shot, 3-point shot, and speed. So you could have a 95 midi, a 91 3, and an 86 speed if you decided to go with that. But what I love about being 6'11" is that posterizer is a tier 2 badge. So you're gonna have this on silver, and then I +1 it to gold. That way I can meter dunk and dunk all over people when I have my slice takeover. It's insanely fun. And then there's a lot of options for your tier 1 badge as well. You could use it on something like Deadeye to get it up to Hall of Fame. You could use it on Set Shot Specialist to get it up to Legend. Or lately, I've been putting it on Rebound Chaser to get it up to Gold, and that's been helping me out a lot in the rec. Well, let's get into the second version of the build that's more accurate to Kevin Durant. So here's the more accurate version of Prime Kevin Durant, in my opinion. Obviously, the defense isn't as great. We only have a 74 block, and we only have a 74 interior defense, but to make up for that, we got the post control up to an 85, and then we're using the 2 cap breakers here to get it up to an 87, which will make sure that you get post fade phenom on Hall of Fame. You'll get post up poet on gold, and you'll even get silver unpluckable. So like I said, I think this is a much more accurate representation of Prime Kevin Durant, but I think the first build that I'm personally using is much better for playing 2K. But if you really like using the post, then this would be a very good option for you. And then these are all the animations I'm using on this build. So I am really loving this Pascal Siakam hop jumper. It feels almost unguardable in the mid-range. It feels like every time I do this hop jumper in the mid-range, I just can't miss. And Kevin Durant's go-to shot is very, very OP in this game. If you don't know how to use a go-to shot, it's actually really easy to do. When you have the ball, just simply push up on your right stick and hold it. Now, obviously, since it's a go-to shot, you'll end up shooting at the end of it, so you'll want to let go of the right stick and cancel out of it, but it's a really good move for getting you open. And then this is the jump shot I'm using on this build. So we got Jonathan Isaac base, Kevin Durant upper release 1, upper release 2 is Dirk Nowitzki, and then this is the blending here. So let me know what you guys think about this Kevin Durant build. Let me know who you want to see next, and here's the web. Peace.